Hello, everyone, and welcome to Merlin's Manor. Today I'm going to be going over some of my favorite upgrades and accessories for board games. Some of these are going to be practical things, and others are going to be things that just kind of help immerse you into the game and just upgrade your gameplay. And so I'm going to start out with one of the more practical ones, and that is sleeves. I don't sleeve all of my games. The games that I do sleeve are usually like deck builders I'm going to be playing a lot because there's a lot of shuffling that goes along in deck builders as well. Sometimes games that have a lot of cards to them because it actually helps to shuffle large decks of cards faster and more efficiently, effectively. And so I do that sometimes for some of my larger games for that reason as well. Now, when you are shuffling for those larger games or any kind of games with sleeves, you're not necessarily going to want to riffle shuffle. It actually makes riffle shuffling harder when you have sleeves on. I'll go over in a minute kind of shuffling that I would use for sleeved cards. Before I get into that, I want to talk about my favorite sleeves, and the ones I use the most are Gamegenic. I find they have the best quality to value kind of ratio there. They're not too terribly expensive. Dragon Shield are like the premium ones that are a lot more expensive than Gamegenic. I don't really use Dragon Shield very often, but they are the nicest ones I have sleeved with. But Gamegenic are just fine. And so how are you going to shuffle your cards with sleeves is you're actually doing what's called mash shuffling. You can't really do this without sleeves, but when you have sleeves, it's the most effective way. You just take it at a 45-degree angle like this, and you're just going to push them together. And I did a bad example of that right there. Let me see if I can reset and try to talk and do this at the same time. Talk and chew gum, right? So you're going to take a 45-degree angle, and you're going to stick them in there, and you're going to kind of adjust them like that. So very easy to do, very fast, and you can kind of come at the top here, kind of fill in the top, and then you can do one kind of near the bottom, and in the middle, just kind of mix it up. And I recommend starting with a smaller deck like this, and get used to it before you try to go bigger. And just like that. And I don't, if with a really large deck, I wouldn't do the whole deck. I would kind of still split it into a couple different decks. And this is about as big as I usually go. And if you notice when we do this, you are getting a pretty good, let me see if I can get a good look at that there. You see, that wasn't even one of my best shuffles, but you're getting a pretty good mix of where all those cards are going when you do that. And so that is mass shuffling. It's the way I recommend shuffling cards if you have sleeves on your cards. Next thing I want to mention that goes along with that is card holders. I've got this very basic one that I kind of use generically. I use it for Terraforming Mars Ares Expedition. And the main reason I got it is once you sleeve cards is that they're going to get slippery once you have a big deck that's like as tall as this thing. They might kind of start slipping off. So that just kind of keeps them in place so that you don't have to worry about that. Another one we have here is the one that we 3D printed for Arc Nova, and this is actually using some glow-in-the-dark PLA because what we had at the time. And basically just sit that on the board. It holds the deck of cards there. We got 3 of these for all the cards in Arc Nova. We put one at a time out on the board, and then the others are just kind of in reserve. And so kind of handy way to be able to take care of that. And so that's the second thing on my list, card holders. Now let's get into some of the fun stuff. And I want to start out with coins. I just really love coins. Here's some generic coins that we have, just to kind of show you a couple different sides there. These we usually use as fives. And here's ones that we usually use as ones that are just kind of your generic kind of fantasy style. These little kind of axes on them. So those are some of the generic ones we use. We also have Seven Wonders coins, and these are ones. And we also use these for Gloomhaven. I find they look very similar to the Gloomhaven coins and are about the same size, and so you can easily just kind of put those on the board and use them. Of course, when you run out of those, you can kind of make change into threes. We have also as the Seven Wonders coins here, just to kind of show you those ones. And there's also sixes for Seven Wonders. We use these for Seven Wonders Duel is what they're for. They're not quite enough, I don't think, for the full Seven Wonders game. There's a version of them that is for the full Seven Wonders, but that does well for Seven Wonders Duel. And we also have Libertalia coins here. Go ahead and pop off the lid. I'm not going to get those out, but you can just see those coins here. I really love metal coins. They kind of really upgrade your experience. You got that kind of tactile feel over the cardboard ones. You got that clinkiness. I mean, it's just a lot of fun to add metal coins to your game. And so there you go with those. That is my third one. And as an honorable mention along those lines, I thought about getting iron clays, which are basically kind of like poker chips, but they're higher quality. They were originally introduced for Brass Birmingham, but they work for any kind of generic game where you're just keeping track of money or something like that. You could use those. I haven't pulled because I have so many coins and I like to use those. I haven't really gone for that yet, but I can definitely see the appeal of iron clays. Let's move into my number 4 on this list, and that's going to be Playmats. And we have here the Final Girl playmat, which this one I get because it really helps organize Final Girl. Instead of having just everything kind of splayed out on a table, it has a place for everything that you need. And so that's the reason why I really wanted to get this one, and I got this one. I don't always get the playmats. The neoprene playmats are nice, but they're not oftentimes not necessary. I got the playmat here for Castles of Burgundy. I don't, like I said, I don't often get them because really there's a very basic upgrade to the cardboard if there's a cardboard board, and so I don't oftentimes do that for that. Usually, if I do it, it's for one that doesn't have a mat of its own or doesn't have a board of its own. But this one is kind of a special, really upgraded version of the game, and so I wanted to get that one. And so those are neoprene playmats. They can upgrade your experience. Next one I want to bring up here as I push these coins out of the way is inserts. And I have one example here, and this is Spirit Island. What I like about inserts is, first of all, it keeps everything organized. And so you don't have to use baggies a whole bunch, and it'll keep everything. If you were going to store it upright, oftentimes your insert will help keep everything in place if you are storing it that way, even though I store most of my games horizontally. If you're going to do vertically, inserts can really help with that. Another big thing I like about inserts is you can just kind of take things out and set them on the table where they need to be. And so it kind of really helps aid in setup going faster as you just kind of pull these out, put them out where people can reach them. And so that's just really nice there to be able to do that. So both for the organizational kind of thing as well as to be able to quickly get things out and use them. I really enjoy inserts. Another one we have an insert for is Isle of Cats. Came with the big box, and the Isle of Cats big box one can, as Frank West can do it in 2 minutes setup because of the insert. I'm not quite that fast there, but uh, he can do it, and it does definitely speed up your setup when you have a good insert that you can kind of take these modules out and put them into place. And so inserts can be very nice, especially if you have a very involved game. Gloomhaven is another one that we have an insert for, and it's just really nice to have all that stuff organized, and especially when it's one that you can kind of take out and set up and aid in your setup there. So that is my number 5, inserts. Now I want to talk about some dashboards that we have for Gloomhaven and Frosthaven, if I can get this over here. And these are very nice. And what I really like about this dashboard here is, first of all, it gives you a place for everything. You have place for your active cards here, and you can have up to 3 active cards, one in each place right here. These aren't, of course, active cards if you know Gloomhaven, but just kind of showing you how that sets up. You also have a place for your hand down here and your discard. Here's where your card modifier, attack modifier deck goes, and you just kind of pull that out there as you do your attacks. Very nice. You have a place to put your loot right here, place to put your health dial, health and XP dial right there. You've got your lost deck goes right here. And what's really nice about this dashboard, and the reason why I wanted to get it, is we play Gloomhaven 2 players, but with 4 characters, 2 characters each. And when you have that much going on, it sprawls out a lot. But this really helps you condense the play area for each of your characters very well, because you have some things that are going under your card here. You've got things that are attaching on here to kind of keep things tight. I really love how this deck right here kind of gives you the opportunity to keep everything really close instead of having Normally you'd have like that, and then another one. It just kind of keeps things a little bit tighter. These would normally have to go up here, but now they've got a place right here. It's just really nice to be able to keep everything organized and together in a smaller footprint. So that's why I really wanted to get the dashboards for Gloomhaven slash Frosthaven. Really nice upgrade there. The next one I want to bring up are storage boxes, and this is kind of similar to inserts, but they're just kind of like a smaller thing that you kind of add in there. And here are the ones that we have for a game called Mariposas, and it keeps all these tokens right in here. And then this opens up, and you have area for some cards and cardboard pieces there. Again, on this side as well, and you got other cards down in there. And so it keeps everything organized. It's kind of like a mini insert, but then you put it out on the table and it has a place for everything to kind of go on the table as well. Very nice. Another one that we have as far as storage boxes go are some 3D printed chests here for Quacks of Quedlinburg. These are very nice. They have lids that just kind of slide off and back on, and keeps everything organized, and you can just very quickly set everything out, and you're not having to set it all on the table, and so it kind of limits the space, because Quacks of Quedlinburg, if you're setting all these different pieces out on the table, you're going to get a whole mess of table space filled up really fast. It also has a place that you can stick the different ingredients, what they do, card, and how much they cost right in there, so it really saves space because you're not having to put those out in front of it. And these keep everything just kind of contained really well. And they're split up into different, as you can see, sections for each of the different values of pieces. And so just really love these. They're really almost a necessity for Quacks of Quedlinburg, so that you can keep everything from sprawling out too much on you. And then you just put the lid back on and you're done, and you can store it just like that. So really enjoy those. Let's go ahead and move into the next one here, which is upgraded tokens from cardboard. And let's start with the Quacks of Quedlinburg ones. These are acrylic pieces here, and just really like the fact that we can have these. They have a little bit of a clinkiness to them. They have a better feel to them, just and a better look to them. Just overall, really enjoy upgrading to acrylic tokens, especially for a bag builder game like Quacks of Quedlinburg. You kind of reach in your bag and drawing these out. Just such more satisfying to draw out these acrylic tokens. Some other upgrades that we have include upgrading our wingspan cubes. Here's just the kind of the white player ones, because I have the others kind of put away. And so, but this is what you come with, is you have these cubes. We went ahead and upgraded to actual birds that you can put onto your board. I really enjoy it. Kind of just gives you a little extra immersiveness. It's not just little cubes, but you actually have actual birds that you are putting as your action cubes there. And basically what you're doing with these, if you don't know wingspan, is whenever you take an action, you put this on your board, and you take an action and you move it over as you activate different brown cards. And it's really nice to, it's obviously not necessary, but the upgrade from the cubes just helps with the immersion a little bit, makes it a little bit more with the theme there than just the cardboard pieces. So really enjoy that. We also upgraded our food tokens to these acrylic, or plastic, not acrylic, but plastic tokens. There are some nice acrylic ones I kind of wish I'd gotten from Board Game Geek. Would have been really nice. That kind of are very similar to the Quacks tokens. Probably should have gotten those ones instead. But really, an upgrade. Upgrade is an upgrade. Enjoy those better than the cardboard ones, definitely. So those are just some of our upgraded tokens. We also have some actual meeples instead of cubes for Lords of Waterdeep. Another kind of just cool kind of way that they're upgraded. Also, like wooden tokens that get upgraded as well from cardboard. Creature Comforts is an example that I didn't pull them out, but the Kickstarter version of Creature Comforts comes with actual wooden pieces in place of the cardboard. And so that's just really nice to have those upgrades, whether they're acrylic, wooden, or 3D printed. It's really nice. Now let's talk about another thing that's similar to that, and that is miniatures. I love miniatures, and here are some of my Final Girl miniatures that my wife painted for me. She did a really good job on these. These are just the season 2 bad guys and some of the season 2 final girls. Just really, really nice to be able to upgrade to miniatures over the wooden meeples that come with the game. And another one I can show you here are the ones for Race to the Raft. Instead of the wooden meeples, you've got these miniatures, which my wife again painted. They come in their various colors already, but then my wife painted them to kind of make them pop even more and be able to add some features to them. And they're really nice. So it's always nice to have that upgrade from wooden meeples to miniatures when you can, especially if you can't get them painted. Sometimes it's kind of a trade-off if you're not going to paint them. If you're maybe just take the wooden meeples as they come. But since my wife paints our miniatures sometimes, it's nice to be able to have those and have them painted. It kind of adds to that immersion of the game. It's not just a wooden meeple on the board, it's an actual person that you can kind of appreciate a little bit more. And so I enjoy upgrading to miniatures from time to time. And the final one I want to talk about today is decorative pieces. And of course, this is completely not necessary, but I'm going to go into a couple of ones that I have. This is the mothership for Under Falling Skies. My wife 3D printed this for me as well. And basically, instead of a cardboard flat piece that goes on the thing, you kind of move it down, you have this 3D plastic piece, and it's really nice. You got a place for the ships to go right here, and then you just kind of move it down just like you would the cardboard. And again, it's not necessary. And this is a glow in the dark. Not that I play in the dark, and so, but it's still kind of cool to have glow in the dark there. I may at some point add some paint to it, just kind of make it look a little bit more. But anyway, even unpainted, this is better than just a cardboard piece that comes with. It adds a little bit of extra immersion there, and so enjoy that. And then some other things that we have here are some of these different um, decorations that we use for Gloomhaven. We've got, instead of cardboard chests, we have these chests here that are wooden and the little painted rim. We got some barrels. We've got some crates. Get them flipped up a little bit so you can see some of the details. And we got these bookshelves. Just kind of add some 3D instead of the cardboard that's just flat. Gives you that 3D kind of thing going on there. I really love the doors here. Although sometimes these do get in the way a little bit, and when you're kind of having to be on there, the doors actually, they come off so that you can search, because the doors are going to start out closed in the game, and then you're going to open them and to reveal the next room, and so you can just take those off at that point, and boom, you're in the room. Just kind of a cool little add-on that kind of gives you some 3D stuff going on the board to kind of just immerse you into the game even more. Another thing we do with Gloomhaven, and what didn't quite make my list, is that we have little um, stands for the standees that actually have on them health meters that you can kind of adjust as well, which really kind of adds to keeping everything right there on the game board where you can see it, and it's a little bit less fiddly. You don't have to kind of keep up with um, the health tokens there for the enemies. Instead, you have the health right on their stands, and so it's just kind of the cool thing that we do for Gloomhaven. I really enjoy being able to upgrade some of my games to be able to get a little better immersion into the game, as well as maybe just in general a better experience for the game, that upgraded experience. And then some things are just accessories that kind of like sleeves that help your game last longer, help with shuffling a little bit there, inserts that kind of help being able to get the game out faster and store it better. Just all kinds of little different things that aren't necessary. You don't need these things, but they are nice to have. What are some of the board game upgrades and accessories that you enjoy? Let me know in the comments down below. Check out some more of my videos right here, and I will catch you in the next one.